Hello and welcome to Unprofessional Engineering. My name is James.
And you got Luke.
Luke, today we're going to be talking about space tourism.
So I was excited about this because once again, it gave me the opportunity to watch the movie Total Recall. So
You've seen it, about 6 times in the past 3 months?
So if you haven't checked out our how to build, what was the episode? Mars
this
and
is
Venus?
Cloud Cities
Cloud City is so it was basically about colonizing Mars and Venus. And is that right, Venus?
Yes, you nailed it.
Yeah,
you've really nailed this intro.
I'm having a hard time on the intro, but it gave me another chance to look at Total Recall, because Total Recall is all about like space tourism.
The new one or the old one? Didn't they redo it?
The new one, don't even.
Is it bad?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can't remake an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie.
So what is space tourism? It's just what it sounds like, Luke. Someone like you or me getting sent into space.
I'll complain about that
either
later.
for the flight or even for a luxurious space hotel stay.
Yeah, but in my research, I'm not sure how luxurious it is.
It sounds pretty luxurious.
Okay.
We'll get into that. Luke, what do you think about this for a goal for us? You and I do an episode from space someday.
So that would, first of all, be amazing. Could you imagine, like, if the Muskers, our boy,
if he finally backed us a little?
It was like, hey, guys, you've been helping me out. Stock prices are up because of you giving me all the credit and props you've been doing.
Right.
He saved those kids in Thailand.
Yeah, he did.
Right?
Thanks to us.
Yeah. So I feel like he should send us whenever SpaceX. So I don't think they fully committed to doing it. They talked a little bit about space travel for tourism reasons. Right now, they're just throwing rockets up for NASA and other companies. But when they do tourism, I think we should be
free ride.
Yeah.
I think so too.
Yeah.
So when will this actually start?
So it actually already started.
What?
Yeah, which is kind of cray-cray.
Wow. I'm going to let you keep going now that you said cray-cray.
So a guy by the name of... We're going to go right to the guy?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So we're going to jump in. So Dennis Tito, I'm assuming he is the heir to Tito Vodka.
Oh, maybe. He is a businessman.
I'm assuming that's who he is.
Okay.
So this guy was the very first person to actually go to space for tourism reasons. Like, he wasn't an astronaut or a cosmonaut or anything like that. So he was up there in 2001 for 8 days from April 28th to May 6th. And it's so funny. The U.S. wouldn't let him go. So basically he called up Vladimir Putin. He called up Russia and was like, hey, guys, I got $20 million for you if you send me to space. He did like some kind of crazy 3 or 6 month training program, and they sent him up into space.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool.
The Russian cosmonauts took him.
Yeah, so the Russian Space Agency has actually sent, I think, 7 people up there at this point.
Almost all of them have been I think every single person that went of the 8, they were sent on. Yeah, every single one. There's 8 of them actually.
8 of them? Oh, okay. Well, anyways, that ended. Why? Because NASA closed its doors. It's like, yeah, that space shuttle program, we're done with that.
Yeah.
But we still want to go to space. Can we bum a ride with you?
Yeah.
And so all of those free seats that the vodka guys were going up on, they're now being filled up by American astronauts.
Like actual astronauts.
Right, not guys that make a lot of money.
Also, supposedly there's not as much room as there used to be on the International Space Station, because I think in most cases they were going up to the International Space Station and the crew requirements have changed, so there actually isn't physical space for someone up there.
Oh, okay then.
You didn't know that, did you?
I didn't know that.
Okay.
I don't know if that's true. That sounds like something you made up.
No. Well, it's true.
Some projections put the global space tourism market at $34 billion with a B by 2021.
So
right?
All the people that have gone so far, of the 8, the cheapest was $20 million they paid to go. And one guy went twice.
Oh, so is he the 8th? He went twice?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, so
you're
7
right.
people went.
You're right. 7 people,
I stand
he went
correct
twice.
again. Okay. Getting ready for space, Luke. What's this going to look like?
It's not easy.
According to NASA, so here's just a little background, on kind of how they get ready and then how we might get ready.
Mm-hmm.
According to NASA, without gravity's constant pressure, young, healthy, strapping astronauts such
Like
as
me.
myself and you
And me.
and you, yes, lose bone density. And they lose it fast, 12 times faster in space. That's kind of crazy than they would on Earth.
So they just got to drink some milk while they're
So
up there.
it makes their bones very brittle, and that means when you get back to Earth, you risk your bones breaking because of that, because they don't drink enough
That sounds
milk.
horrible.
Yeah, it does sound horrible. Since it takes no effort to move around in space, muscles also deteriorate.
They atrophy quite
That's-
significantly.
That's also including your heart muscle, which is unfortunate for people. So they don't have to work as hard, so they weaken. Boop, boop, boop. So
Wow.
all of your bits are getting worse. NASA only considers applicants with blood pressure under 140/90. Just 2/3 of Americans have blood pressure that low.
Mine is.
Is it?
I could go.
Okay, I'm still in the clear too. Within the first month of training, candidates have to swim 75 meters without stopping,
I'm done. I'm out.
and then swim that distance again, but in 280-pound flight suit and shoes.
yeah, I'm out.
Yeah, I don't think I could do the first
Yeah.
part.
So
I could doggy paddle that maybe. It'd take a long time.
is there a time limit?
I don't know.
Okay. So interesting fact about NASA. So they actually had a set of twins that were astronauts. Did you hear about this?
No, but have you ever seen the two fat twins on bikes in the Guinness Book of World Records?
Okay, I'm not exactly sure.
Okay,
I'm
go
trying
ahead.
to be serious.
Sorry.
And you totally derail me.
Okay,
I have seen
okay,
that picture
you
though.
have? It's
They're on the
awesome.
mini bikes. But
Yeah.
no, so they're these two twin brothers. They're both astronauts, and what they did was they had one go to space for an extended period of time. I forget what the specifics were. It just made me think of it when we were talking about all the health issues. And what they did was twins are basically identical. And what they did was
Especially if they're identical twins.
when he came back from space, they tested both of them to see what the effects of on identical samples, which is it's the first time they've ever been able to do that.
That's a good idea.
Because like if I went to space and you stayed, I mean, I'm physically stronger and taller and more handsome and all those
Funnier.
sorts of things. So funnier. So if I went to space and then you compared me against you, I mean, I'd probably still be taller and stronger and have more bone density.
Right.
But if you
probably.
and I were twins, like identical,
Right. Which we're close.
then we are.
We're the other kind.
Then you could actually do an apples to apples comparison or twin to twin comparison.
Yeah.
So interesting. You should look it up. It's a really cool
I'm
thing.
going to look it up when I get home. Only SpaceX has mentioned the need for the Dragon's crew. That's the Dragon missile.
Dragon Heavy, I think.
Dragon Heavy? Falcon Heavy?
Falcon, that's what
Falcon
it is.
Heavy. To pass fitness standards. But it won't be too surprising to have others have strict NASA-esque fitness. Currently, it's looking like they're taking their normal, years of training and condensing it down into, a 3 or 4 month program. But still, I don't want to exercise for that long. So how much is this going to cost, Luke?
It's going to be expensive.
You can sign up right now for a 10-day mission aboard the International Space Station for a mere $55 million.
Oh, my goodness.
But if you think about this, that includes the 10-day stay on the space station,
Okay.
transportation to and from the space station,
Okay.
and a 15-week training program.
So is this
That's
all?
kind
So
of
is
a
this
deal.
is this like an all-inclusive Mexican resort where all the
Yeah.
liquor and food is included?
I assume all of the liquor and food that they have on board is yours if you want it.
Because
And I
if this
mean,
wasn't an
you
all-inclusive
have to-
trip, it might not be worth it.
You have to find your own hotel the night before takeoff. $55 million. Isn't that crazy?
It is extremely crazy.
So, yeah, I think with that, let's take a quick break for a word from our sponsor.
So I'm assuming it is Virgin Galactic.
Virgin Galactic.
This is what's his name? The
Sir Richard Branson.
Sir Richard Branson. I'm
I
assuming.
wonder how he became Sir.
I think he just
You're rich and British, so now for your a knight.
Elton John
Yeah,
just
he's
sings
Sir
a lot,
Elton.
and he's
Yeah,
a sir.
Again, rich. And
Yeah,
British.
probably just rich and British.
You know that you can buy land over there and then get I don't know if it's a Duke title or something, but you can buy 1 square foot of land
Okay,
and then get some sort of title.
that seems. The fact that you know that is bothersome.
It's that I certainly haven't looked into it.
Let's move on to our sponsor.
Oh yeah, our
and
sponsor.
shout-outs.
It's actually none of our great space venturing people. It is in fact nobody. Wah, wah, wah.
That's so sad. I cannot wait till the day we actually say we have a sponsor.
I know that'll be a good day. But I would like to say, please write us reviews.
No shout outs either?
Oh, no shout-outs either. Nobody was worth it. They wrote in, but I didn't want to give them credit.
Ooh,
Cad
that's
Noobs
rough.
wrote in again, but, he's probably sick of hearing his name. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, so write us a review on iTunes or wherever you listen. I only check iTunes because that's where I see this stuff at, and because it's basically the biggest contributor to listens to all podcasts ever. So write us a review there, and make sure to press the subscribe button. That way you can get all of our great
stickers.
stuff. Oh yeah, email us at unprofessionalengineering@gmail.com. Tell us you subscribed. Point to your review even better, and we'll get you some amazing stickers. I just sent out 2 more sticker packs this week, so they're flying off the shelves. They're so beautiful. Yeah. So again, please write us a review. It makes me so happy. All right, moving on.
Are we going to talk about the companies that are doing this right now?
I would love to talk
do you
about
wanna
the
do that?
companies. Yeah, let's talk about them.
Okay, so you pointed out I only identified 2 of them.
You did.
And the reason I did that is because they all kind of do the same thing.
They do.
So the very first one, and this one is, to me, the more interesting one. This
Okay.
is a company by the name of Orion Span. So basically,
Orion Span.
if you do what we did and you Google this, you can get all the details. I'm not going to go through each and every detail. But this company is saying that by 2021, they're going to be able to send guests to space. Right now, they're saying that they're going to have about a 3-month training program. So who can be off for 3 months for training and then to go to
Is this
space?
24/7?
You mean? Oh yeah. So you're not working. Like
Right.
you're like
You're
doing
training.
astronaut training for
Oh,
3 months.
okay.
Like you live in a
You're swimming 75 meters in a spacesuit.
Yeah,
Doggy paddling.
Yeah, I can't swim 75
Yeah.
meters, period. So the crazy thing about this one is this is actually probably one of the most affordable ones, relatively speaking.
I mean, yeah, they're so different, but go ahead.
So this one is going to be roughly a 12-day mission, and it's going to be somewhere between 20 million and 50 million to stay aboard the International Space Station. But interestingly, the International Space Station has an end of life that's coming up in like 2028. So I'm confused how these companies are promoting this and getting all this money. Where are they going to send people if they decommission the International Space Station?
See, I saw that they were only going to cost $9.5 million per person. So that seems like it's pretty reasonable.
Oh, you know what? I read that wrong. You're right. That's really reasonable.
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
I could scrape that together.
I don't know
So
about
the
that.
International Space Station thing's interesting that you say that, because Orion Span is also planning on building the Aurora Station, building it as the world's first luxury space hotel. Luxury space hotel.
That seems weird.
So they're scheduling to construct this thing starting in 2021, and they're going to use the company's, quote, proprietary technology and construction methodology, which, I mean, isn't it just like sending stuff up with rockets?
And you bolt it together when
yeah,
you get
and you
there.
bolt, yeah, or they do like the piecemeal thing like the space station does. So, yeah, the station will have 2 private suites with a total of 4 guests and 2 crew per stay. So they're gonna take a long time. I think they were looking at something like $100 billion to create this fancy station. So they're gonna have to make a lot of trips to have this paid off.
So here's my issue with this Orion Span. These cats clearly don't have the science down, because another thing they're planning on doing is they're planning on selling space condos if you wanted to be there more permanently.
I didn't read that.
When you just said, like,
Did
2
you make
minutes
that
ago,
up?
no, I didn't make that up. It was right off of the internet, and you know it's real if it's on the internet.
That's for sure true.
So you were just talking about it a minute ago. Long-term space time is like really bad for your health. And
Well, some people don't stay in their condos all the time. They might stay up there for a couple months, then go back down to Boca.
a couple months up in space on a regular basis, that I feel like you would, I feel like that's not good for you long term.
Maybe the condos are timeshares, so you get like a week and then you come back. What do you think?
Maybe
Yeah, you don't have anything
the
for
fact
that?
you got a timeshare space
space.
condo. Could you imagine that?
Yeah, I could. I could see that happening in the
Then
future.
you and I actually have the opportunity to get in on the ground floor. We just got to sit through a 1-hour session, and we get a coupon for free steaks when we're done at the restaurant.
Oh man, I would like that. Space steaks have to be so good. So my question is, so these people that are going up to the Aurora station, luxury hotel, right?
Yep.
You're deciding that you're just shooting off into space and then you're just hanging out in your suite for a week? Like looking out into space for a week? I'm sure it's amazing.
Yeah.
I bet it's just mind-blowing.
2-3 hours of it would be
But
great.
come on, right? How much do you need?
Yeah.
I've been on an airplane. I've seen Earth look little.
Yeah.
I mean, not that little.
I think the interesting thing is like
A week?
but I've seen ones where you actually do stuff, like you'll get to do spacewalks.
I've seen that, and we'll get into that here in a little bit. But it just doesn't make sense to me why I would have to stay there that long.
I could just watch it on TV.
Yeah.
You should check out our TV episode.
Oh, we did just do a TV episode.
Yeah.
The evolution of television.
Yeah, you could watch all this stuff happen on TV and never leave the comfort of your couch.
Oh man, I would be down for that. Are you done with Orion Span? Do
I
you have
am.
more?
Now, again, there's a whole bunch of other companies that do very similar things. You might have a little more
I'm going to
detail.
cover them.
Okay.
Because I wrote them down.
Okay.
Next, Virgin Galactic.
But
Your boy.
Virgin's different, though.
Your boy, yeah, Sir Richard Branson.
Sir Richard
founded
Branson.
in 2004. He was tired of dropping beats. And did I use that right?
He did. You did. But he also kind of failed miserably because
that's basically all this thing's done.
Yeah.
So
So he said, "Oh, by 2009, we're gonna be doing this," and all kinds of setbacks, all kinds of problems.
2018.
Yeah. So
Currently.
way overdue.
Yeah.
For some space travel. But this is different than what Orion Span is doing because from what I understand, Virgin is taking you to the edge of space in one of these cool-looking space capsules that you've seen, and you're only there for like a short period of time. You're there like 11 minutes, 15 minutes. Like you're not in space hanging out looking at, you're not on the International Space Station. Did I get that right with Virgin?
Yeah, you're right. It's aiming to take tourisms on suborbital flight, so aboard the Spaceship Two spacecraft. And the weird thing about them, which is different than all of the other companies out there, which makes me not that they're wrong, just that they might not be right. They are launching from an aircraft rather than a rocket, which doesn't make
So
a lot of sense
I've
to
seen a
me.
picture of the rockets that NASA has sent where they're on top of a like a huge Boeing something 777 and it's literally like on top of it and it just goes really fast and then you detach and
I'm thinking he probably has plans for that to be used for like traveling around Earth as well. And so he's kind of like two birds with one stoning it. That's my guess is why they're doing that. But then again, I'm not really part of Virgin Galactic. So like you said, the total flight time is just going to be minutes. So not a super long time. You only float around a little bit. And a seat on the vehicle is going to cost you
about $250K, right?
just $250. That's nothing, right? That's just like a house.
That's crazy. So the other thing too is how many people have purchased tickets already?
Over 650 I saw.
Isn't that crazy?
Right?
Like,
And this hasn't even happened.
no.
I mean,
And it's
this
been
isn't-
delayed 10 years roughly.
And he's been saying for like a decade that they're about 18 months away, which and the rest of the board's like, yeah, we're not going to say that.
I feel like
But
the
he's all
Muskers
about
needs
it.
to step in with this because I feel like when Elon says he's going to do something, it kind of happens.
Yeah, I agree. So bad thing about this, in 2014, the VSS Enterprise was on a test flight and blew up.
I remember that.
And it killed the pilot, Michael Alsbury. So that's unfortunate.
Do you remember?
setback
Do you remember
for
when
them.
that happened?
No, I don't.
Yeah, it was a
I don't
really
recall.
big deal. They were, yeah, it was sad.
That is sad. I mean,
Speaking of space travel, do you probably? So I was in 4th or 5th grade, I think.
when the first man walked on the moon.
No,
Oh.
shut up. Whenever the Challenger exploded,
No, I don't remember that either.
The teacher, I remember we were all sitting in a gymnasium, and they had the TVs up on the TV stands, and there's like 150 kids sitting in the gym,
Okay.
and all of a sudden, live on television, the rocket explodes, and all the teachers were like, "What?" And yeah, it was super sad.
In my defense, I was 4,
yeah.
so
I
there's
was
that.
a little bit older than you. It
Yeah.
was 86.
6.
Yeah. I remember that.
I do remember
specifically.
the OJ trial. Not that those are similar at all, but school stopped and like had us watch that in history class or something. It was interesting.
Okay.
Maybe that was just
Sorry
an
for that
easy out
segue.
for St. Mary's teachers.
My segue was way better because it was related to space, at least.
Okay, sorry about that. Let's take another break for this week's Luke's rant.
Yeah, so my rant is, I think, an obvious one. There's no chance you or I or 99.99% of the human population will ever be able to experience space travel, considering the lowest cost alternative is $250 for an 11-minute ride.
$250? I am down.
$250,000.
Oh.
So I feel like, how does this benefit humanity in any way? Like, when you think of what NASA does, it's exploring space, and there's a benefit to humanity. There's some scientific purposes for it, but this whole idea of tourism, this is just to make money.
Obviously, but NASA isn't funded by, well, I guess it is funded by my money, but I'm not spending my dollars to go.
But I feel
That's
like
different.
if there was some sort of philanthropic angle to this tourism.
Why? Why can't someone just make money?
I don't know. I feel
You're
like
just mad that you can't afford to go. Also, if I could afford to go, boy, I wouldn't be doing this podcast.
But would you actually go? Like, if you had the money to go to space, would you do it?
And it didn't. If that amount of money meant nothing to me, if the $55 million to go hang out in the space station meant nothing to me, yeah, I'd probably go do
You
it.
would? See, I don't know if I would.
No? I feel like at that point you've done everything, you know? You're like, I've done everything money can buy. This is the next frontier. And you go and do it.
Okay.
And you say it in that voice.
You do.
Yeah, for sure.
So I feel like
I get it.
I feel like this is just about making a ton of money for a very small group of people in the world, and it's just
If you don't like making money, I'd be happy to take some of yours that you do make.
No, I like making it. I don't know.
You don't like other people making money?
I don't like other people making it. There you go. Sorry. That's my rant. I feel like they need to do a little philanthropic angle on it. Like, maybe they do something, and I can't believe I didn't bring it up on our television episode, the Wonka Vision.
Oh, Wonka Vision. I meant to ask about that,
I feel like if they did, like, golden tickets, and it was like, hey,
in a candy bar.
you could randomly win an opportunity to go to the space station for free for whatever. I think if they did...
I'm guessing the people eating the candy bars aren't going to pass the fitness test.
Well, I don't know.
Okay, let's move on to Blue Origin. You know Blue Origin?
This is Bezos's.
Bezos?
Or
Beelzebub?
Yeah, whatever his
Jeff,
name is.
Jeff, what's his name?
Bezos.
The
Amazon cat, right?
The Amazon cat. The company's targeting late 2018 or early 2019 for their first flight with humans on board.
But this is also that
short
one,
duration
right?
mission, 11 minutes is what they're aiming for. Wow. You're just not into that. If you're going all the way.
Yes,
55 million. But I feel like this gives us poor schmoes a chance. Like, when we're about to die, we like take our remaining 401k
instead of giving it to our kids.
Right, and dump it into space. That's for me. When I don't have kids, I just spend my 401k money on going to space.
And the last thing Jeff Bezos needs is more money, but just saying.
Boy, you are really angry about this week. So they're expected to require a whopping 1 day of training.
Well, you're just sitting there, and then you undo your seatbelt and you float around.
So that's going to take place right before the flight. The training's going to include mission and vehicle overviews, safety briefings, and mission simulations. So this is kind of like going on a roller coaster, and they're like keep your arms inside and have fun. That's basically what they're doing here with their training.
Mission simulation.
Yeah, right?
What that call it? I'm getting madder and madder about this, James.
Space Adventures.
So these are the only people that have actually done anything.
Oh, you knew this.
These are the.
Did you read it off my screen?
No.
Job.
These are the people that have sent the majority of the 7 people.
By the majority, you mean all 7 of the space tourists.
Did they do all 7?
They did.
Okay. I knew it was some number. I don't know if it was all of them.
Yeah, it's all of them. It's the only truly successful one. Like you're saying, they're the ones who have sent these people. And they teamed up with, I think is it Ross Cosmos.
It's the
Russian launching people. So they're the ones that have sent that out there, but they're promoting new missions. So like we said, it's shut down right now, but they're promoting new missions. And this is one of them that's going to say that you're able to include a spacewalk. Kind of like when you go to a resort and you have those excursion packages that you can buy. Well, this is like your excursion as a spacewalk, which would be really cool because no private citizen has ever done one of those before. So that's kind of cool.
Fun fact, Space Adventures is in Virginia.
Oh, interesting.
I think that's just funny.
I guess that
they're done in Virginia.
Well, why wouldn't they be, right? Teaming up with Russia. That's good country-to-country relations. That's nice. Anyways, spacewalk and a trip around the moon. So you should like this one as well. And it will also include a stay at the International Space Station. So this seems like the way to go. International Space Station, a trip around the moon, and a spacewalk. What more could you want on your space adventure?
I think that would be pretty amazing.
Yeah, I think so too. Do you have more to add on this? Are you going to tell them how to contact them? It looks like
this is amazing. So if you just do spaceadventures.com, they actually have a contact us form. If you have any questions about this experience, please fill out one of the forms below. This is a $55 million.
They don't have a price for theirs,
but that's what they've paid in the past, and they have a contact us form on a webpage. I feel like that's a bit kind of ironic. I'm just saying.
I agree.
Sorry.
Roscosmos, the Russian agency, is planning on building a luxury space hotel module for the International Space Station. So the other one, the Aurora, I feel like that makes sense because it's its own standalone thing. This sucker is going to be slapped onto the International Space Station, and as you said, it's planning to come down or be defunct in
I think it's like
10 years.
It's like 2028, I think, or something like that.
I mean, they'll probably extend that a few more years, but still, not a long time. And since they're only planning to launch the space hotel in 2022, technically that's 6 years of being in business. Doesn't seem like a great plan,
but
right?
If you're making $20 million,
I mean, they're not going to make podcast money.
No.
It's funny because we don't make money.
It is.
Okay, guests at the hotel will be treated to private living quarters with 4 bedrooms, each about 70 cubic feet, hygiene and medical facilities, and a lounge. So that's cool. At least you could do other things. Prices are going to range from $40 million for a 1 week to $60 million, or $40 to $60 million. Could go up to a month-long stay. So $60 million for a month there seems pretty good. And this one also,
come back and your bones crumble.
Well, then your bones crumble. This one also has a guided spacewalk by a cosmonaut. Is that better than an astronaut?
I think that's just the Russian version.
It is, but I think the word's cooler.
It's way cooler.
Yeah. There's another one, Cosmo Kurs. I was like, meh, does the same thing as Blue Origin, so I passed them. Then there's Axiom Space. The ultimate goal is to launch a commercial space station. So I thought I'd mention this one because that's a little bit different. Not just a hotel. We want a space station out there. They're self-proclaimed successor of the International Space Station.
Okay.
So that's something. And it hasn't released any details, but they're planning on sending up modules to the International Space Station in 2021 and have its own ready by 2024. This is just a mere $100 billion station. So, Again, that's cool. But I mean, like, how many people do you then have to be sending off into space to be able to afford all of this stuff? At like $100 billion station and the upkeep?
It's a lot. So interesting. What's the name?
Why are you looking up Harry Potter videos?
No. I'm trying to find the name of the movie. What's the
Martian?
No, not The Martian. The movie where the
Apollo
International
13?
Space Station grows.
I don't know. One more while you continue looking on Amazon.
Yeah, I can't
SpaceX
find it.
in 2017 said that not only are they going to do all the other things that they're doing, they have intentions to fly private citizens on a circular mission, following a similar flight path of Apollo 8 and, unfortunately, Apollo 13. And this still hasn't happened. Details have kind of like fallen by the wayside, but they're still planning on doing this. I also saw somewhere that they were talking about prices of how much it's going to take to send somebody to Mars. And that was surprisingly not that expensive. I think they were quoting like $500,000 or something.
Yeah, but you're like
that.
just getting there. Like you're cargo, basically.
Yeah, you're cargo at that point. You're living there,
because they're sending other stuff.
Right. But still, not that expensive. Right? I have one more thing I wanted to talk about. Do you have anything else you wanted to add? Your movie or anything?
No, I can't find the name of the movie, but if I find it or think
If you
of
can
it,
think
I'll
of
yell
a movie where a space station grows,
yeah, I
let
can't
us
think
know.
of the name of the movie. It's a
Jimbo,
super,
I'm talking to you.
yeah, he knows the movie, I'm sure. It's a super epic movie where it starts out as the International Space Station, and it grows and grows and grows, and they meet all these aliens.
You
as a
don't
part
ever
of it.
actually do any research. You just hope that you've watched movies that talk about this stuff.
It was a pretty
Is that
cool
right?
movie. I can't believe I can't think of the name of the movie. I just watched it like a month ago. So, how many people, and don't look at my screen, I just saw you cheating. How many
I don't
people
even know what you're
have
asking.
crossed the Krammen line?
I don't even know what that is, Luke.
The Krammen line is that point in our atmosphere where it becomes space. How many people have gone beyond that? Under 600 people total ever have been in technically space.
That's pretty good.
That point is roughly 62 miles above the Earth.
Okay.
So at a minimum, you got to go 62 miles to get into space. Another thing that we didn't talk about is what they call suborbital. And have you ever seen that video of who's the guy from? I'm so bad at these movies. The guy that just died, the physicist.
Hawking.
Yeah, Stephen Hawking did this. It was suborbital, so they put
We
you
did
in
a whole
big,
episode on
They
him.
put you in a big 747, and then they basically do a nosedive, and you experience
Oh, and he
zero
went
gravity.
up there and floated around.
He did that.
Yeah, I remember that.
So that's another thing that it's actually happening right now. Like you and I could sign up for it. I'm not sure how expensive it is, but basically it's suborbital travel, and basically you're just nosediving in an airplane to experience what weightlessness is for a few minutes.
You need to go to their webpage and fill in their contact us form.
I should go to their webpage and fill in their contact form.
Okay, what's it feel like in space? So here's a little quote. In the first 24 hours, you'll feel really nauseous and dizzy. Okay, that's great. So your first day of travel shot. You don't know which way is up. You're trying to adjust to floating around. You feel the blood in your head because it's not being pulled down by gravity. You feel really disoriented. So this sounds like a great vacation right now.
Okay.
When you get back to Earth, you'll feel very heavy. Astronauts returning from long stays on the International Space Station say just holding their head up is an effort because their neck muscles haven't had to work for months. But if you're only up there for a short while, this shouldn't be quite so bad.
I feel
so
like
if
they
you're just
should-
doing that week-long trip, it might not be so bad.
Why don't they take like a Bowflex or something?
I don't know.
Take like a piece of equipment and like do some exercises.
We've talked about this movie before where Sylvester Stallone's the truck driver and he has like the Bowflex thing in his truck.
Yeah, I feel like
That's
just,
what they
just
should
take a
do.
Bowflex to space because you would still feel the resistance. I mean, it's not like you couldn't exercise in space. And I've seen pictures of people wearing like belts with harnesses and they're like walking or running on a treadmill. So you actually can exercise. I just feel
There
like
we go. But nobody wants to exercise on vacation.
no.
No. Do you have anything else to add for this
I think
one?
that's it. I don't know if I have too much. I think that's it.
Okay, well, I think we've gotten everybody ready for their next or first great space voyage.
I know I'm ready. I just got to save up, I don't know, 20 million, 30 million bucks, and I'm ready to go.
If you're going on the cheap, I'm going all the way with the 55 million package. All right, well, until next time, space tourists.
See ya.